Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Insane every single time my master compromise. 'Cause I'm afraid and stuck in my ways, and that's the way it stays. So how long did I expect love to outweigh ignorance? I've that look on your face, I made it force the scale to turn. I'm not insane, I'm not insane. I'm not insane, I'm not insane. Come back to me, it's almost easy. Come back again, it's almost easy. Shame pulses through my heart from the things I've done to you. It's hard to face, but the fact remains that this is nothing now. I left you bound in time with suicidal memories. Selfish beneath the skin, but deep inside I'm not insane.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Jose's Taco Truck. We are driving around and doing donuts outside the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. This is your host, KJ, and, man, 3 days in a row. I'm on a roll today. Woo! God almighty. I was struggling because I'm like, okay, Tuesday I did this, and yesterday I did this. I know. I'm going to talk about about horror. I love horror. Oh, man. So last night I covered Jim Bean's show, and if you didn't hear it, I'll have the podcast up later today. But sitting there, and I got off, and I spent some time with my wife, ate some dinner, and then I decided, you know what? I want to go see the movie It again. Who did that cover of the song "Float On"? I'll type it out for you. I actually like a lot of his songs. His name is Isosign. And look him up on YouTube or whatever. He's really good. But I went to go see the movie It again for the umpteenth time. You know, It. These guys. And, man, just that fucking creepy clown. Bruh. That shit was insane. And I'm a huge horror guy. I remember Tim Curry's It and watching Skarsgård's It. It's great. But I'm thinking, because Halloween's around the corner, because last year, you remember, it was all Donald Trump's and it was all Donald Trump's and Hillary Clinton's and Barack Obama's. It's very political. Oh, no, fuck clowns. Oh, roger that, Biggs. Hold on, let me, there we go. There we go. There we go, just for you, Minx. So, of course, I was curious what was going on with Halloween this year and what's selling. And lo and behold, horror is back. Finally, we can get away from the Donald Trump costumes and the Hillary Clinton and the Barack Obamas, and somehow someone got a costume as Kim Jong-il, but they had to, go to Home Depot, get a step stool. Horror is fucking back. And that's nice. I'm looking forward this Halloween to seeing some scary costumes. I want the shit scared out of me. Movies like Get Out and It, which were insanely good, are inspiring kids to go back to dressing up scary. And it's just so cool. Some of the best-selling costumes are, of course, Pennywise from It, The Exorcist, the Exorcist bitch, which I can't remember her name, which is now bothering me because it's another one of my favorite movies. And it's just, Minx is going as border control. Hell yeah! Like I said, I'm dressing up as a stripper from Sharky's to pay homage to the closed facility where so many of our brave brothers and sisters lost their BAH and TRICARE to a stripper. So watch out for me next Tuesday. And horror is back. That's what's exciting, and I'm looking forward. Especially where you're seeing, like, okay, The Mummy got a remake, and I'm sitting there like, okay, it was kind of okay. Tom Cruise was not a good pick, but a lot of these older monster movies and classic horror movies are getting remastered and remade, and they're excellent. And of course, the casting for them, like the chick that played the Mummy, the Queen, in the movie The Mummy, absolutely fucking horrifying. She was great. Tom Cruise, well, you know, he's always running away from his gay thoughts, so that's to be expected. But man, I'm hoping they do the whole gambit of the werewolf and Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, all that jazz. I'm hoping to see a resurgence in monster movies and classic style horror, because you know, European style horror of all the monsters and all the creatures of the past. I don't know, maybe I'll place money on it, Pook. It's a joke from Family Guy from like 2004. I know, or 5 or whatever. It's an old joke. But yeah, if you haven't seen It, go see It. He is, oh god, Bill Skarsgård is fantastic as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. It's an entirely fresh new take of it. I highly recommend it. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times now. It's fantastic. And then part 2 is coming out in like 2019, so hell yeah. I'm even more excited for that. Oh, good God almighty. Oh, I'm so stoked horror's coming back. I'm going to see scary shit this Halloween. Okay. Moving forward from my gushing about Pennywise the Dancing Clown. So, of course, lo and behold, not even an hour ago, the Democrats worked to stop Trump from launching nuclear strike on North Korea. And I read that and I'm like, oh shit, he's openly talking about it. I'm excited. Great, we're launching nukes. We're going to go at it. Fuck, we're launching nukes. And I'm sitting there twitching my boots and I read the article and I'm like, oh my God, y'all are idiots. Here we go. So the Democratic senators are trying to prevent President Donald Trump from being able to launch a nuclear first strike against North Korea. Okay. Senator Chris Murphy, Cory Booker, and Brian Schatz will introduce a bill that will give Congress alone the ability to call in a first strike after a vote, Murphy announced Wednesday. You know, I'm just common sense here. Oh God, it's that fucking theme I have. But hold on, ability to call in a first strike after a vote. That's fucking smart. However, shouldn't it be a little bit smaller than Congress? Maybe like 4 or 5 guys to say, hey, should we launch the missiles? Yeah, we should launch the missiles. Okay, let's launch the missiles. Let's launch the missiles. No, don't launch the missiles. Oh, 4-1, fuck you. I mean, if we've seen anything about Congress, they can't get their minds to fucking agree on anything. So, you know, let's see if they want to sign off on a nuclear first strike. That would be a very entertaining hearing. C-SPAN would be the most watched channel that day. But I digress. Continuing the article, Trump's North Korea threats are real, Senator Murphy of Connecticut wrote on Twitter late Wednesday, stating they intend to constrain the president's executive authority to use nuclear weapons. My bill with Brian Schatz and Cory Booker make clear that any unauthorized preemptive strike on North Korea, nuclear or conventional, is illegal. You fucking think? Okay, first of all, we're not going to be launching nukes first. If we didn't do it for the 40 years or 50 years of the goddamn Cold War, we're not going to fucking do it now. And conventional, don't we already need Congress's approval for that? I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, Schatz. Oh God, how's it spelled? Yeah, here we go. This is his name. Copying and pasting it. Boom, bada bing. Paste. There it is. Schatz. fucking... We can't launch preemptive shit. Technically. By the Constitution. So why are you introducing a bill for conventional when it's already in place? I feel like I've just walked 10 steps backwards to go 1 step forward. You get what I'm saying here? Okay, hold on. Let me finish the article. He reached across the aisle to Republicans, encouraging senators who have broken with Trump that here's your chance to actually constrain his most dangerous power, to make war. The bill follows a similar one introduced by Democratic Representative Ted Lieu in the House in January, and comes in response to Trump's repeated threats of military action against North Korea if it continues its nuclear weapons development program. A nuclear first strike, absent an imminent threat to the U.S., is already illegal, Murphy said earlier this month. So then why the fuck are you putting a bill? I'm pretty sure the president knows that this shit is illegal. Hey, you know what? I feel like launching a nuke today. You can't do that, sir. It's illegal. Screw you guys. I have orange skin. I mean... You know, some days I wish I can go to D.C. and walk into Congress, put a little bit of baby powder on my right hand, and just smack the shit out of some of these congressmen and senators. Because they are just retarded. I've met toddlers with more common sense than these senators and senators and representatives. The article continues to say, right now, President Trump has the authority to order a nuclear weapons launch at any time if there is an imminent threat to the U.S. The Secretary of Defense can refuse to carry out that order, but can be fired immediately and replaced. In early October, Kim In-rong... Jesus fucking Christ, North Korea. Can you pick... These guys need to get their names changed. Kim In-rong. Yep, this is... You got some of the best guys going to, representing you, North Korea, with their names. That's just awesome. He's North Korea's deputy ambassador to the United Nations, said that nuclear war may break out at any moment. Tensions between North Korea and the U.S. are an all-time high after Trump threatened military action and fire and fury like the world has never seen against North Korea over the summer after Pyongyang conducted a series of tests of intercontinental ballistic missiles. They also carried an underground nuclear weapons test. Now, last week, Donald Trump said during an interview on Fox Business Network that you would be shocked to see how totally prepared we are for military action against Pyongyang. Would it be nice not to do that? The answer is yes. Will it happen? Who knows? Who knows? You know, that right there, will it happen? Who knows? Who knows? That is an excellent statement because we don't know. It's all dependent on diplomatic ties. Why are you typing? Oh, grammar Nazi's coming out. Oh, Lord. Diplomatic ties. He's still hoping for a diplomatic solution there. Who knows? Who knows? No one knows if it's going to result in military. I hope it doesn't. I hope diplomacy doesn't break down. But then again, we're dealing with a nation that believes they're God's gift to this earth and has such an Adonis complex that, I mean, Jesus Christ. Either they're going to learn to play ball or we're going to have some fun. But then again, like I said last night, I don't trust the Secretary of State or President Trump because Trump doesn't have any tact, and Rex Tillerson is not a statesman. He's a businessman. And unfortunately, the U.S. is not a business or a country. Now, during an interview with Fox Business Network's Lou Dobbs Wednesday, Trump said the issue of North Korea's nuclear weapons program should have been solved long before I came to office. Nevertheless, Trump said the problem was given to me and I get it solved. I solve problems. Well, what's the solution then, President Trump? What is the solution? This is the time where you should come forward and explain what you are trying to do about the rogue nation that is North Korea and how it is. I mean, are you going to continue to try to establish diplomatic ties? Are you going to go for a military option? What is going on? The people want to know because we're all sitting here with our heads stuck in the sand going, should we kiss our ass goodbye or look forward to a reunification as South meets North. This is something that needs to be solved sooner rather than later, and we, the public, need to know as well. But taking away the president's ability to launch a nuclear strike is ridiculous. We didn't feel the urge to do that with President Obama. We didn't feel the urge to do that with President Bush or Clinton or Bush or Reagan. Even when Reagan started going senile, we all, those of us old enough to remember those years, what does this button do? I mean, for Christ's sake. I don't think we're going to do a preemptive nuclear strike. But, guys, why now? Is it because he doesn't fit into your proper politician mold? Is it because he's everything you aren't? Good and bad? I mean, there's nothing... There's nothing here that screams at me that we should take away this power from the executive branch. Nothing. Because he hasn't done anything except use Twitter irresponsibly. It's just a damn smokescreen. Well, what are they trying to smoke then? I mean, the budget just got passed. I'm waiting for that to actually come up in print so I can read what the budget is. Watch, the budget gives nothing to fucking anyone, and DOD gets 100% of it. Hell yeah. But there's an interesting hypothetical. What would happen? What would happen if President Trump looked over at Secretary Mattis and nuke him, Mattis, nuke him? What do you think Secretary Mattis would do? Do you think Secretary Mattis would, without hesitation, push that button? Or do you sit there and go, sir, that's not the greatest idea. What do you think Secretary Mattis would do? Let me hear what you got to say. Feel free, call the show, or write in the chats right now.
Call the show now at 415-889-8367.
What do you think Secretary Mattis would do if he was ordered to nuke North Korea? You know what I think Secretary Mattis would do? I think Secretary Mattis is a very smart man. He is not a he's not a jump head first without some knowledge sort of person, at least from what I've seen and from what I've heard. He likes to be well informed. He likes to make his decisions based off of facts from what I've seen and what I've heard. And I think he would sit there and say, Mr. President, I don't think this is a good idea. His words have weight. Yeah, Pookie, I see what you're saying there. It's because he's not one of the political elites. He has every intention of draining the swamp, and it scares them. Yeah. This is the problem with the Trump presidency, is that, I'm a huge cinephile. I love movies, but you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And President Trump needs to focus on what he promised, which is draining the swamp, getting those guys that have been there for 60, 70, 80 years, however fucking long they've been in Congress. Probably someone started a fucking General Washington at some point as a fucking admin clerk or whatever. But for fuck's sake, he needs to focus on getting those guys out, revitalizing our economy, and controlling immigration. Illegal immigration. Immigration's awesome. Illegal immigration fucking sucks. But if he stays in too long, what if he loses sight of his goals? What if he's already lost sight of his goals? These are the questions that need to be asked and brought up to our representatives. And if you support the president, oh snap. Shots fired by D-Max. Gonna divert real quick. Some of them, the representatives and senators, probably been there since ICE was born. Shots fired, boss man. Your retort. And no, Mad Dog wouldn't launch a preemptive strike. I agree with that. But if he loses sight of his campaign promises and his goals, drain the swamp, reform immigration, reform our taxes and our budget crises, rebuild and re-strengthen our military, eventually those goals are either going to be obtained or he's going to realize they're not obtainable, be it because Congress doesn't want to work with him or that he personally doesn't have the time. And will we view him then off of what he's done and view him as a hero, or will we view him as a villain who was not able to keep good on his word? It's a scary game, politics. Fuck it, that's why I'm never going to play it. But hey, moving on to some good news about President Trump. I like both sides of the aisle here. It's a fuck yeah moment. Trump is to declare an opioid crisis a public health emergency. This was written today in the New York Times. President Trump on Thursday will announce he is directing his Department of Health and Human Services to declare the opioid crisis a public health emergency, senior administration officials said, taking long-anticipated action to address a rapidly escalating epidemic of drug use in the United States. Fuck yeah. But how are we going to handle this? Now, the move falls short of Mr. Trump's sweeping promise to declare a national emergency on opioids, which would have triggered the rapid allocation of federal funding to address the issue, and does not on its own release any money to deal with the drug abuse that claimed more than 59,000 lives in 2016. But it would allow some grant money to be used for a broad array of efforts to combat opioid abuse and would ease certain laws and regulations to address it. This right here is one of those die a hero, live long enough to become a villain moments. Because, okay, he can't declare a national emergency on opioids. Why? I don't know. But there's the villain part. He can't trigger that rapid allocation of federal funding. But he can direct his Department of Health to a public health emergency, the opioid crisis, and now you have some money going in, ease certain laws and regulations to address it. And that right there makes it much easier for public officials to handle and deal with this. You know, oh God. Yep, fell right out of my diaper. Ice, Roger. The diaper you're wearing now. Okay, D-Max, enough. We're not picking fights in my chat room. Jesus. I don't need to have any cannons brought in here and shout at each other. Oh, Lordy. The opioid crisis is one that bothers me a lot. Because, you know, yesterday I talked about how Walgreens is going to be offering over-the-counter Narcan. And Narcan is already stupid expensive. Imagine what's going to happen now combined with this little bit of money, however much it may be it $1,000 or $1 million. Combine that with the ability to get Narcan, and you have both ends of the spectrum starting to be worked on. And that sounds good to me. That sounds like the start of a solution. That is actual action to what President Trump said, you know, I solve problems. You're starting to solve it. This is where you're starting to show that you'll be remembered as a hero. If you can start finding a consistent and lasting solution to the opioid crisis in America, hell yeah, that'd be a great thing to be remembered. Now, further in the article, the Trump administration, they added, would work with Congress to secure money to combat opioids in a year-end spending package, including through the Public Health Emergency Fund. They outlined Mr. Trump's announcement on condition of anonymity to avoid preempting his formal speech. Now, the biggest issue is lack of funding, which right now they're trying to work through. And the other issue is awareness as well as public involvement. And public involvement is not just Joe Snuffy and Jane Rottencrotch. It's public officials, it's law enforcement, it's the Department of Justice. All of these aspects have to work together and communicate and realize that you're not dealing with someone that had a narcotic and you need to send them to jail. This is someone that is addicted. It is a mental health issue. And even though you yourself made the decision to get addicted because you yourself decided to put that needle inside you, you now can't stop. I'm not saying anyone here directly. I'm just speaking in hyperbole. And when you start pushing that agenda of getting them help and getting them out of the jails, that makes things easier and better for all parties involved. And that will bring more money, because then you'll have more people that are kicking it, not spending on the drugs, getting jobs, getting into the workforce, getting buying houses, revitalizing our economy. That is a good amount of people that will help rejuvenate their local and state economies, especially in some places where it's absolutely devastating, like Ohio or parts of my home state, New York. Oh man, Pookie's asking, I wonder how much subsidies the Narcan company will get to pump out that much product. That's an interesting question. I don't know. But that's the... Yeah, I can see that too, D-Max. D-Max says he sees more pharmacy robberies coming up. And I can see that too. I can see more people robbing pharmacies to get Narcan. But at the same time, I can see pharmacies being more willing. Oh, you need Narcan? Here you go. So if the supply is there and the demand is there, and the demand is not outweighing the supply, that's where I can see. Now, ICE, that's not fair. Circular shit perpetrated by the pushers to fund their BS social programs. Hey, how about you don't do heroin? I mean, that's great and all, but I mean, if you've done heroin, it's kind of hard to kick it. It's like fucking coke or methamphetamines or, prescription painkillers that the majority of the nation, enjoys. It's not easy to kick. Addiction is a mental health issue. And that statement right there is equivocal to saying, oh, soldier, shut up and get back out there, who's suffering from PTSD. And yeah, I went there. You don't tell a heroin addict, an addict of any kind, just drop it, you'll be fine, don't worry about it, because withdrawals fucking suck. Fuck, I get withdrawals from fucking caffeine, and ask my wife, she hates it. I didn't have coffee yesterday, 6 hours, I'm sitting there, oh, fucking, blah, blah, blah. Magically appears a bottle of Mountain Dew, and I'm like, oh, thank God. All of a sudden, I'm a human being again. It's not like drink water and drive on right. I don't understand what you mean by that, Thomas. Can you further extrapolate on that for me? New name for an old drug problem to push the grievance industry. Listen, drugs are never going away. But like with anything, oh, here I go, broken fucking record. Education. Tell your kids not to do these things. Teach them why not to do these things. Answer their questions. And if they do them, be ready to get them the help they need. Because unfortunately, it goes from much more than just a physical addiction and starts developing a mental addiction. And mental addictions are insane. And yes, I hear what you're saying there, Ice. Some of these soldiers should never been entered into service due to what the old timers call the Surge Army. I understand that. The point I was trying to bring up was the as you see so expertly portrayed in Thank You for Your Service, You Are My Hammer, and the guy's going through some shit. He's going through some shit up here. It's one of those things of It's the same thing. You can't just tell a service member push through your shit when it's a mental issue. Just like you can't tell an addict just drop it in cold turkey, because there's going to be mental withdrawal. There's going to be physical withdrawal, and addiction, just like mental damage, needs to be handled professionally and appropriately. I know it's unpopular. I know people don't like hearing that, but that's the truth. Addiction is mental. There's a lot of mental aspects with it. And yeah, we brought this on ourselves when Big Brother government made pain a vital sign. You're absolutely right, Minx. You're 100%, and you're in this industry, so you know more about it than I do. But we, and I say we as a country, we brought this on ourselves, and now it's up to us to change the situation. My inner capitalist is saying invest in Amphastar Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. Okay, all right. No insider trading in the chat room, please, Pookie. God, we don't need anyone going into jail like Martha Stewart. Although, if you do that, you might make a cooking show with Snoop Dogg, so, That's fucking great. Oh, Hito, that's great. Hito says, flood the market with drugs laced with laxatives. If you are gambling with shitting yourself or getting high, it won't be fun. That's great. That is outstanding. Could you imagine being that heroin or cocaine manufacturer? What are we doing? We're just lacing it with some chocolate laxative real quick. Give it some flavor. What? Yeah. It's bad leadership, just like it's bad leadership now that we let addiction get to the point of what it is, to where you have to call a public health emergency to a point where it might be declared a national emergency. And it falls back on education. Educate your kids. Let them know what the drugs are and how they're bad for you. Don't shy away from those freaky-ass pictures of... the dude fucking doing meth that looks like his soul's been sucked dry out of his dick. Educate. I'm a broken fucking record, but educate. This is something, even with pain. There's good pain and there's bad pain. Good pain lets you know something's wrong. Bad pain is that's just, oh, doctor, it hurts so much. I need oxycodone. Bad pain leads to addiction. Because bad pain leads to you fucking whining and freaking out over something like a paper cut, or you stubbed your toe and you're running to the doctor because you're already hooked on something. I know it's a very loose thing, and it was said hip fire, so let my brain catch up to my mouth, and then I'll be able to formulate something quicker. 1837. No insider trading, Pookie. Jesus, I'm not. All right, when you get a cooking show with Snoop Dogg, Pookie, I want to come on air with you for all this insider trading we're doing. So there's my two questions for you. There's my two questions for the first segment, and then I'm taking your calls. Would General Mattis refuse a preemptive strike order? What do you think General Mattis would do if he was told to launch the nukes at North Korea right now, at this exact moment? And how would you, in accordance with the new public health emergency declared on the opioid crisis, how would you help and assist and deal with this situation to prevent the next generation from being involved in it? Call the show now. Let me get your opinions. Let me get your answers.
Call the show now at 415-889-8367.
As we're insider trading, Jesus, gonna get us thrown in jail or something. Goddamn, Pookie. Although now I'm curious, and now I'm looking up that company you're talking about. Oh man. You know what I would do? While I'm waiting for one of you guys to call, you know what I would do? I would, if I was General Mattis, right now, if I was told launch a nuke, I would say fuck off. In a polite, courteous way. Because, and I would explain, this isn't the time to launch a nuke, sir. You know, we still have diplomatic options. And when it comes to the drug thing, educate. I would do everything in my power to make sure my children knew what the drugs were and how to avoid them and stay clear of them. There's too many that are gone. You know, too many people that are gone that at some point people are going to have to give up hope. And that it's just going to have to accept that they're gone. And that's a harsh thing to say, but it's the truth. But there are more that you can pull off and get successful. Just like there are more that are not quite into that addiction stage that can be pulled out real quick. It's not a fun thing to think about, but unfortunately, it's an epidemic. And it's something we gotta worry about. Who knows? Maybe we'll get an awesome tweet later. I'm so excited about the what the president has to say later today about the opioid crisis. So, finally, and then we're gonna close out the first segment with this. Oh Lord, Washington Post. The Daily 202. The GOP civil war is bigger than Trump. A new study shows deep fissures on policy. So as we all know, the DOD is very conflicted. Not the DOD, the GOP. Wow. The GOP, the grand old party, is very conflicted. And with this confliction, we're having a lot of things have trouble pass through Congress and the Senate, as we know. I, for one, think this is fantastic on one end, and on the other end, I want to go in with baby powder on my hand, smack them all. Because it's ridiculous that if you're asked about, when President Trump was asked about Flake's criticisms as he boarded Marine One for a trip to Texas, he responded with that his meeting with Senate Republicans was a love fest. And that we have actually great unity in the Republican Party, the president said. If you look at the Democrats of Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, that's a mess. We're really unified on what we want to do. And the reality is, it's farthest from the truth. Senator Bob Corker said about, and Senator Rand Paul, they both told Fox News, this is more of like a People magazine saga. And Republican Senator James Risch told CNN, these things are all personality-driven, and it's unfortunate that this is leaked out over into the public. And then we go to Utah for Senator Mike Lee, a Republican as well. If we were all to chase every squirrel that comes running along in the form of a personal dispute or mischaracterization of someone's integrity or intent, we'd be very busy doing that and not focusing on the government. We have so many different people in the Grand Old Party, in the GOP, across so many different generations, that too many people, the party isn't unified. And it's the same thing you're seeing in the Democrats. The party isn't unified on a singular goal, which is making America great again. Same thing with Democrats. They should have the same goal, make America great again. But instead, the Democrats want to focus on emotional policy, and the Republicans want to argue that Trump doesn't represent them. Same thing with the Democrats. It's the only thing the two fucking parties can get along with is they both don't like Trump for some reason, which, let's be honest, he's not a politician. And based on an in-depth interview with more than 5,000 American adults, the nonpartisan group, the Pew Research Center, divided everyone across the political spectrum into 8 groups. Now, Pew Research Center is someone I've always followed. I like them. They do a lot of research. They do good numbers. And they had a 9th group of politically disengaged bystanders. And here's the split of where people lie is as in the Republican Party and in the Democratic Party. Out of 5,000 people, and these 5,000 are supposed to represent the United States, 16% are solid liberals, 12% are opportunity Democrats, 14% are disaffected Democrats. 9% are devout and diverse on the Democrat side. 8% are independent. That's where I fall. We're called bystanders. 11% are new era enterprisers, Republican side of things. 12% are market skeptics, Republicans. 6% are country first conservatives, and 13% are core conservatives. That is a huge division, and each one of those has different ideals and different things they want pushed through Congress. And unfortunately, when we elect a president, hey Branko, no, don't worry about being late. When we elect a president, we elect him to represent us as head of state, represent us in stately affairs, and our wants and desires. Same things with congressmen and senators. And we failed in that matter because we have such a division in both parties, and everyone wanting to get their own things passed to try and make America great again, that nothing's getting passed. I mean, the budget barely squeaked by. I'm listening to it briefly in the background, and that's why I'm having a little bit of a head to brain to mouth, and it barely squeaked by for approval. The budget should never barely squeak by. The budget should either get approved or shot down. Because this is the budget for the country. And the budget barely squeaked by. And it's because of all of these different political types. Core conservatives. Country first conservatives. Solid liberals. Opportunity Democrats. Those archetypes, those names bother me massively. Opportunity Democrats. Country first conservatives. Just from the name, an opportunity Democrat. Not a Democrat by opportunity, but one that sees the opportunity for the Democrat Party. That's what, just by reading that, that's what it alludes to. And correct me if I'm wrong. If you interpret it another way, please let me hear your opinion. A country first conservative. Unfortunately, we're at a stage in the world with technology and politics that country first can be a downfall. Yes, we have to put our own needs first, but everyone is reliant on everyone for trade and for policy and for alliances, for war, for almost everything. Because money is so intercontinental, international. That's what really turns the world, money. It's disturbing to see the GOP, which has systematically been, out of the two, it has systematically been more unified than Democrats for the past 20-ish years of me being alive. I can't speak before that, because I wasn't there. But for the past 20 years, Republicans have consistently been on the same page. And now with President Trump in office, nope, fuck that shit, we're done. Nope, I want this, and I want this, and fuck you, and 1,000 different voices trying to all get their own 15 minutes of fame, either bashing the president, or bashing a policy, or saying it's all the Democrats' faults, and Democrats, you're no fucking good in my eyes either. Y'all can't fucking get your head out your asses over which fucking pronoun you want to be called these days, so. Here we go. Here's a the Pew Group identifies 4 distinct GOP factions, and core conservatives, 15%. They overwhelmingly support smaller government, lower corporate tax rates, and believe the economic system is fundamentally fair. You know, that is a core conservative Republican. Country first conservatives, a much smaller segment of the GOP. Older, less educated, country is broken, blame immigrants, and largely think the U.S. should withdraw from the world. Isolationism. Isolationism really doesn't work well. market skeptic Republicans, which is about 12%. They're leery of big business and free trade, believe the system is rigged against them. You know? New era enterprisers, the fourth group. 11%, they're younger, more diverse, and more bullish about America's future. They support business and believe welcoming immigrants make the country stronger. You know, the most leaning towards the Democrat side. We need people to cross these divides, to break these archetypes. When you're a politician, you need to be able to represent a multitude of people, not just what's in your area. You need to be able to represent the interests of the country and get the interests of the country's passed. And if it's not in the best interest of the country, get it gone, get it destroyed. Oh, man. We can't go to caps currency like on Fallout, D-Max. I'd be dead in a week. I'd be a millionaire in 3 days and dead in a week. Alcohol poisoning. Actually, no, I cheat the system. I just, buy as much beer as I can every day and just, pour it down the drain while drinking one so I can accrue the caps and make all that money. That's another phrase I keep seeing. I keep seeing this all the time when it comes to Congress, when it comes to the Senate. Zero-sum game. Why must others lose for one to win? Especially when it comes to our nation. Yes, there are going to be policies where people are going to not be able to directly profit from or succeed from. For example, the Affordable Care Act. Not everyone succeeded with the Affordable Care Act. But why do others have to suffer to get a national policy put in place? There needs to be that middle ground. Those guys that are sitting, that 9% that are sitting, is it 9 or 8? 8% that are sitting in the bystanders. You guys, and I'm talking to myself here, but you guys are the ones that need to push for that solid middle ground. We cannot. This two-party system is essentially murdering us into haves and have-nots, winners and losers. And unfortunately, it isn't just a mindset of winners and losers. It is we all win or we all lose, especially when we're this divided at a representative level. Also, on that note, it's my daily time to say kick a lobbyist in the balls. I mean, Jesus. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm just some 25-year-old shooting from the hip, hoping for a better tomorrow with bushy eyes and a bright tail. Or bright eyes and bushy tail, whatever the fuck you say it. But for Christ's sake, we need to start leaning more towards the middle. We need to start finding the middle and getting those people that see the middle into office. And get those that don't out. That's how we're going to make the country succeed and be better. But then again, we're too busy worried about pronouns and November 4th with Antifa, their day of violence and all that shit, and giving fuckheads airtime and taking away executive powers. And this is just ridiculous. I don't know. I wish I did. I can only give you my opinion. That being said, we're going to take a break. About to get all the tacos served up, all that jazz. Chalupa's out of the fryer, so I can start filling them up. Going to leave the Facebook stream up. Got some cool tunes for you guys. And just feel free, chill and wait. I'll be back in about 10-ish minutes. We'll start fresh back up at the top of the hour. We're going to move on to some pretty cool things in history. More involving a president and a grassy knoll and a few other places. So, stay tuned. Talking about the JFK files next, here on WTF Nation Radio and Jose's Taco Truck. Shots!
WTF Nation Radio.
trying to get it tipping Subway. And back when I was rapping for the hell of it. But nowadays we rapping to stay relevant.
Look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip?
Hit me with lightning.
The shadow overtake us. We are numb and chemicals. Free will is ours and we can't let go. We are the image of the invisible. We're more than carbon and chemicals. We are the image of the invisible. Free will is ours and we can't let go. We are the image of the invisible. We can't allow this, the crying girl. We are the image of the invisible. So we sing out this, our canonical. We are the image of the invisible.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
And welcome back to the second segment of Jose's Taco Truck. Here live at the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence at WTF Nation Radio. It is I, your host, KJ, and oh man, get your tinfoil hats ready. We're going to have some fun this second hour. Woo! All right. Let's talk JFK. Let's talk President John F. Kennedy. November 22nd, 1963. He was struck by 2 bullets, one in the head and one in the neck, while riding in an open-top limo through Dealey Plaza in Dallas. Lee Harvey Oswald was charged with killing him, and a presidential commission headed by Chief Justice Earl Warren found that Oswald acted alone. Now, that is a story from the Warren Commissions that has been taught in textbooks. I remember learning about it in the 6th grade, 8th grade, 11th grade. I remember learning this, but a 2003 ABC News poll, and there's been several done since, but in 2003, 40 years after the events that took place that day, 70% of the Americans believe Kennedy's death was a result of a broader plot. And the exciting thing is that more than 50 years of our theories, of our questions, the JFK files are getting released. It is causing such a stir that our own president, and probably the one tweet that I can 100% approve and condone, he tweeted, "The long-anticipated release of the JFK files will take place today. So interesting." Oh my God. So many theories. So many things, from the KGB to Vice President Lyndon Johnson to the CIA. Just, oh my God. Second gunman. Maybe. Yeah, that's what it says. Lee Harvey Oswald used a bolt action. I think it was an old Italian rifle. And maybe we'll get some closure. Maybe for those 50 plus years. It's been, we're in 2017, so 54 years after it. Those will have something that either reinforces with concrete proof and evidence that it reinforces that Oswald did it, so we can put this to bed. Or maybe there'll be documents from the CIA saying, he fucked us at the Bay of Pigs, so we're going to fuck him back. Or President Lyndon Johnson asked us to do it because he knew he'd make a better president. Or the mafia. I mean, his brother was indicting and prosecuting mafia members left and right during that time period. So, what do you think happened? I want to hear what you thought happened to JFK. I don't like bringing up conspiracy theories. I'm not a huge fan of them. They're fun to talk about, but they really lead to just constant circles. But what do you think happened to JFK? What do you think? Do you think he was legitimately killed by Oswald? Do you think it was a CIA plot? What do you think happened? Please share your thoughts. Call in, type it in, whatever. What happened with President Kennedy? Was it Castro wanting to get revenge? Or was he not the target? Was it, at the time, Governor Connolly? Or Jackie? What if they were trying to kill the governor? I mean, what if we're wrong about this entirely? What if they were trying to kill Governor Connolly at the time? I mean, bam, whole new twist on it. Man, it's so interesting that, I mean, I as time progresses forward, more and more of these documents that are sealed away are going to be released, and all these questions we had from the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, like MK Ultra, like we hear about MK Ultra all the time, those documents will eventually get released to the public. You know, it's I'm trying to remember the name of the exact law. The I think it's the JFK Records Act, but I'm not sure. I'm looking it up. But I know that it was passed, that there was a law passed through that requires sensitive documents to release them after a certain amount of time. And yeah, JFK Records Act. The JFK Records Act. MK Ultra will eventually come out, and what was done there, and all the other the Mobius project, which so many people assume was a CIA attempt at brain control after MK Ultra. You know, all these things that we hear about and see on YouTube and on our Facebook feeds about conspiracy theories and stuff, it'll come to light of whether or not it actually is true or not. And if our government was really a part of it. Are we going to have to wait 50 years for the surveillance for the Vegas shooting? I don't know. Because technically, they're a private company that holds surveillance footage, but it was taken into evidence. I don't know. I don't know the laws behind that one. I don't know. We're not talking about Vegas though. Fuck Vegas. I'm burnt out on Vegas. Between Bruce diddling little kids, Steven shooting up a fucking concert, Daddy being a bank robber. I mean, at least fucking creepy brother that looks like my wife's ex-husband isn't doing anything wrong yet. Oh man. The minute it's available for download, which I have a tab up and I'm just waiting for the link to work. I'm downloading all the documents so I can just comb through them over the weekend. Fuck it, I'll bring them with me to the movie theater. I'll read them while I'm watching it again. They're like, oh yeah, this is great. Oh look, Pennywise. Oh fucking, the CIA did do it. Oh fuck, oh Pennywise. Oh man, having my mind blown in multiple ways. It's just, ooh. What do you guys think? D-Max, what do you think happened? And yeah, it would have had to have been the target to get 2 shots by bolt action. If you're proficient, I use a bolt action when I hunt, and I've got no point that if I need to, I can pop 2. Pennywise did it. I can pop 2 shots in a deer, no problem. If I miss my first one, if I miss the heart or I miss the lungs, I can pop another one and just be done with it. You know, it does not surprise me that it can be done. It can be done. God, Pennywise did it. Fuck me, D-Max. You know, I wanted to sleep tonight, but now I'm just thinking about Skarsgård and that creepy little dance Pennywise does, you know? That creepy little dance. Oh, man. So exciting. And it's so many different... The multiple shooters thing, the grassy knoll, is fascinating if there was a second shooter. You know, the CIA getting involved, like I said, the mafia, Castro's revenge. What if it wasn't the CIA wanting revenge from the Bay of Pigs? What if it was Castro? What if it was Fidel Castro saying, you know what, fuck this shit. They wanted to reach out and touch me? No, fuck you, Yankee. I'm reaching out and touching you. So many cool and exciting things, and the minute this becomes available, I'm popping into it. Oh Lord. I really wish we got access to. Yeah, the dance was awesome. I did laugh, but it was more of a I felt like I was in a narrow hallway with him there, and all I could think about is that dance is hearing Thomas the Tank Engine behind it. You know, dun 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 dun. It syncs up perfectly. So what else do you guys think? What do you think happened? Was it aliens? As Alex Jones is fucking famous. It was aliens, and Revenge of the Sith is based off the U.S. government. Fuck you, Pookie! Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh, god damn it, I can't close that either. Oh, you son of a bitch! Okay, so to catch you up, Pookie messaged me a GIF of the of fucking Pennywise doing that creepy little dance, and it's just playing nonstop, and I can't close it because I don't know why, and now it's just sitting there mocking me, horrifying me. God damn it, Pookie. Oh. Oh, god damn it. Alright, so moving past that. If you got a... Was Bergdahl's great-grandfather what? I'm so confused, D-Max. Was Bergdahl's great-grandfather what? Alright, I'll come back to that. So moving forward. I touched on it very quickly in the first hour, but now actually we have it in print. We can talk about it. And the House narrowly passes the budget, paving the way for a 1.5 trillion, that is trillion, tax cut. Oh God. House Republicans agreed to budget legislation Thursday morning, narrowly overcoming internal dissension and Democratic opposition to clear a major obstacle in the GOP's quest to pass large-scale tax cuts. The budget legislation authorizes special procedures that will allow Republicans to reduce federal revenue over the coming decade by as much as $1.5 trillion without Democratic help. Its adoption launches what GOP leaders hope will be several weeks of intense legislating, culminating in House passage before Thanksgiving. Because we all know that after you eat that Thanksgiving turkey, you're fucking flat on your ass watching the Lions game and dying on the inside because you have too much turkey inside you. It shows the strength of the willingness to get tax reform done, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, a Republican from California, said in the 216-212 vote. That's what bothers me. 216-212 vote is way too close for me for a budget. 216 people versus 212. If 212 people, almost 50% of the House of Representatives did not agree with this tax reform, who is it really benefiting? Well, let's continue to read. No Democrats voted for the budget Thursday, nor did 20 Republicans, indicating ongoing qualms about the tax push within the party. A key holdout bloc consisted of Republican lawmakers from states with high local tax burdens who have resisted the GOP's plan to eliminate or at least scale back the income tax deduction for state and local taxes. Several members of that group threatened to hold up the budget unless their concerns were addressed. 12 Republicans from the high tax states of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, where many voters stand to be hit hard if the deductions were eliminated, voted against the budget after no deal on it emerged. Still, House leaders were able to persuade enough of the balking lawmakers to advance the process. A highly anticipated meeting scheduled for Wednesday night between the holdouts and the House leaders was canceled shortly before it was set to begin after party whips appeared to secure enough votes. Every Republican member of the California and Illinois delegations whose constituents are also subject to relatively high local taxes supported the budget, and several New York members waited to cast their no votes until GOP leaders had obtained a majority, indicating that they were unwilling to hold up the tax bill. It's not a good bill. I have to read it, but just from the amount of people voting no, almost 50%. almost 50% of people voted no. That means that almost 50% of our delegation, almost 50% of our representatives, the ones we elected, voted no. That is cause for alarm. That is not a good bill. Tax reform is something the country should be unified on. Unfortunately, we're not, because we all get taxed at different rates. And since we all get taxed at different rates, and we have state taxes in some states and state income taxes and stuff like that, we're constantly fluctuating with this. And the issue here is it's going to benefit people like in my state, in Tennessee, where we don't have state income tax. But if that deduction gets eliminated, if the income tax deduction for state and local taxes gets eliminated, people in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, places that have income tax, pardon me, they're going to be hit hard. And unfortunately, we've developed into a society that relies upon our English Philip, our tax return, our income tax return. There we go. I can speak. Our income tax return. And that is horrifying, because the income tax return is not them giving you money, it's you overpaid on taxes. So you eliminate this deduction, which gets you a bigger return, and people that are already relying on this return, oh wait, the return's going to be lowered. And this is a return that can be used to bolster the economy by buying a car, or that $1,000 or $2,000 you needed to get that house, or whatever. I don't like bills that pass so close. It never sits well with me. It never will. It hasn't, and it never will. Further on, it says, one leader of the pro-deduction bloc said that despite the budget's passage, the tax bill itself cannot pass until GOP leaders deal definitively with the issue. I know, and they know, that there were people that voted yes only to keep the process going forward, but who disagree with the fact that we don't have a deal yet, said Representative Tom MacArthur, Republican, New Jersey, who voted against the budget. Representative Tom Reed, Republican, New York, a member of the Tax Writing Ways and Means Committee, who had been negotiating a deal on the deduction, said Wednesday he expected an agreement to be reached in the coming week. But if an agreement, if they pass the budget, and if it's passed, your agreement don't mean shit unless they amend the budget. They don't have to fucking amend it. They just passed it. Before the rollout of the whole tax legislation and bringing it to the floor, all those I's and T's will be dotted and crossed. But it passed. So the bill's not passed. This is the part I have a problem with. Both parts. Almost half the country didn't support the bill. Our representatives showed that we didn't support the bill. I did not read what you just typed, Nemax. But then, it's not even finished. For fuck's sake, can we get... Alright, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to DC this weekend. I'm bringing the baby powder. I'm bringing fly swatters and frat paddles. And I'm going postal. I'm smacking the shit out of representatives. Republican, Democrat, fucking whatever. Because this is retarded. This is the hey guys, I have an idea. Oh, what's your idea? Let's get a tax bill passed. Oh, that's a great idea. But let's not have everything in it. What? Yeah, exactly. The stupidity of it. What do you think? Do you think that is stupid? I mean... Because obviously, you know, Trump's claiming to drain the swamp. He ain't draining it fast enough. And obviously, with the rate, with everything he has to push and he wants his party to push, with the dissension in his party, he ain't going to get shit passed. So what the hell do we do with this. We just don't reelect them. That's what we do. I say we take the names of everybody in Congress right the fuck now. All of them. Put a printout. Post it everywhere with a big, bold, red letters. Do not reelect. Get new blood in there. Because these politicians are killing us. Politicians and lobbyists are killing us. We need to get blue collar back in Congress. We need to get fucking HVAC technicians and fucking... We need to get fucking road pavers, and we need to get fucking people that work, blue and white collar, people that work, that actually represent us and know what our interests are. Because right now, those aren't our interests. A budget bill that proposes a $1.3 trillion tax cut that barely passed and isn't even fully completed, that's not in my fucking interest. Is that in your interest? Please tell me that's in your interest. And that fucking Pennywise gif, I can't close it. Fuck you, Pookie. You son of a bitch. That is... I'm in shock. I'm in awe. We need new representatives. We need something. And President Trump alone is not going to be the change we need. Okay, yeah, we have an administration that's halfway competent. So is President Obama's and Bush's. But for fuck's sake, we need the House and the Senate to learn that they represent us and we dictate their damn jobs. And as always, kick a lobbyist in the balls. God damn, lobbying should be illegal. I'm scrolling to see if there's any lobbyists involved here. I don't see it, but I can smell it. Cutting the income tax deduction. Jesus. Yeah, here I am, fucking 25-year-old that knows nothing about the world talking about income tax reductions. Ugh. I don't know, guys. What do you know? What do you think? What do you think? Here's my question for you. Feel free. Answer away. What do you think this budget will pave the way for? This incomplete budget. Will it create taxes that are more understandable and easier to pay? Or is it with the plan to eliminate or scale back the income tax deduction? Do you think it's going to hurt more people? Don't just think about yourself here. Think about the country as a whole. Will this help us or hurt us? And from what I'm seeing, it will hurt us. It's not that fucking hard either. Do flat 10%. Boom. 10% from everybody. 10 cents per every dollar. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Fuck the state taxes. 10 cents on every dollar. And there. $1,000, it's $100 in the pocket of government. 100,000 is 10,000, so on and so forth. We make enough money as is that would be an easy thing. I know if you're 1099, you got to pay 15.5. So why the fuck can't we do the flat tax of 10 across the board? Simplify it. Oh, and then return free filing, which is where they already have the processes to file our taxes and they know how much we owe, but they tell us we have to calculate what we owe so that we can tell them what we owe and pay what we owe for them to give us the return when they already do it and they already know it. Fuck it. We need return-free filing. We need a flat tax. At least something that we all can agree on. This right here, 50%, almost, I think it's 48% or 49%, is atrocious. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Man. All right. So moving past the taxes, moving into somewhat businessy, people are going to benefit from the proposed tax bullshit. So Twitter is banning all ads from Russian news agencies RT and Sputnik effective immediately. This is from about 3 hours ago. So Twitter announced on Thursday, today, that it would ban all advertisements from the Russian news agencies RT and Sputnik. They've made the policy decision to offboard advertising from all accounts owned by Russia Today and Sputnik effective immediately. The decision was based on the retrospective work we've been doing around the 2016 U.S. election and the U.S. intelligence community's conclusion that both RT and Sputnik attempted to interfere with the election on behalf of the Russian government. RT directed reporters to lengthy statements published on its website in which it never violated any rules while advertising on Twitter and has never spread any sort of deliberate misinformation. Sputnik told Business Insider in a statement that it has never used paid for promotion on Twitter. Sputnik news channels are followed by people who are tired of the mainstream and who are looking for an alternative perspective on the news, the press office wrote. Sputnik said on its website that Twitter has so far refused to provide the news agency with more details about the ban. RT, Russia Today, said last month that the U.S. Department of Justice had asked it to register as a foreign agent, and Yahoo reported around the same time that the FBI had interviewed a former Sputnik reporter as part of an investigation into whether the company was violating the Foreign Agents Registration Act. All right, let's cut to the chase here. They're Russian news agencies, and they're not Russian news private agencies. They are Russian news agencies. I believe they are state-sponsored. I'm not sure. I'm checking now. I don't want to be giving you inaccurate information, but I believe they are state-sponsored. And I'm Googling it now. Yeah, it was established by the Russian government-controlled news agency, Rossiya Segun. I can't pronounce it. I don't know. My Russian's not up to date. So, it makes sense to say, yeah, you guys are done. You're not on here. And I can applaud Twitter for banning the ads from RT and Sputnik. But at the same time, if you're going to ban RT and Sputnik, you need to ban CNN. You need to ban BBC. You need to ban everyone. You need to ban Fox News. You need to ban them all. You are a platform, a social media platform, where people can share this information quickly, and it can be shared without verification. Because even CNN, Fox News, even they get things wrong. Or they publish something that isn't completely true. Don't pick and choose, especially just because there's just because they attempted to interfere with the election on behalf of the Russian government. That's a great reason, but there's more parties at fault here than just the Russian government and that conclusion. But then we get into oppression of the First Amendment and all that jazz, and we don't want that. We don't want to deal with that headache again. The harsh reality is you can't ban a advertisement from a news agency and expect them not to retaliate, which they're going to. They'll sue. And then the only way that they would be able to get away with it is because of if they ban them all. CNN, NBC, ABC, Fox News, all that jazz, all the news. Because they're all equally at fault in my eyes. They all contributed to a very shitty election. They all contributed to spreading their own spin on things and not providing what's needed, which is the facts and the news. I don't know, guys. Just a shitty world. And fuck it, I'm just looking forward to the FBI, to the JFK files. JFK files are gonna be great. There's got to be something. There's got to be something good. God, why are Thursdays always so slow? Yeah, we'll move down south. How about that? We'll go to Florida for a bit. So, Tampa mayor is on hunt for a serial killer. Bring his head to me. So, I used to live in Tampa Bay. Bob Buckhorn. He's the mayor of Tampa. I've heard him a couple of times. He's a good sounding dude, good guy. And exactly what he says. Bring his head to me. All right? He ordered police officers Wednesday in a video aired by NBC News. Let's go get it done. We are going to hunt this son of a bitch down until we catch him. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Because 3 people have been shot dead while walking alone within a 1-mile radius in the Seminole Heights neighborhood since October 9th. So, someone is just popping shots, random people. Hell yeah, this is the kind of leadership we need. Someone's committed a crime, find them, end it. Especially when it's starting to establish a habit that's leading to it evolving into a serial killer. You know, that a serial shooter. That is fantastic. And police searching for a person of interest captured a grainy surveillance video. Police Chief Brian Dugan, another good guy, said. And authorities have offered a $25,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. However, I think the issue is potentially somebody knows something, but they may not realize it, Police Chief Dugan said. And the police chief tried to reassure people ahead of Halloween, saying he'll personally be out patrolling on the spooky night. I'm going to go out there, I'll be personally on patrol, and you know what? If someone wants to walk with me, they can walk with me. I'll walk with their family and get candy with them. I might even take some of their candy. Okay, first of all, dick move, but it's worth it, you know, give a little candy to the chief of police, and he'll walk with you. Hell yeah. That's excellent. That's fantastic. I'm thrilled about my home city being one of my home cities being that proactive, especially in such a horrible situation, especially with Halloween right around the corner where people are going to be staying out late. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, you're going out on Halloween, go in a group. Common sense. Oh wait, that's a fucking superpower. Go in a group, common sense, relax, have fun, but be in a group. And if you see this guy and you're listening to the show, well, call the cops. Don't result to vigilantism. We don't need that headache. That's pretty awesome. You know, we have... That is a leader we need. I love that quote. Bring his head to me, all right. We're going to hunt this son of a bitch down until we catch him. Why can't President Trump say that about draining the swamp? Why can't we have our representatives and senators saying that regarding the budget? No, this shit ain't passing until we know that it'll affect everyone equally and fairly. Why can't we have... Well, I know why we can't take that stance with North Korea, because North Korea is just fucking unhinged and insane, so... But why can't we have Rex Tillerson say, I am open to diplomacy and the door is open, please come talk? Why can't more people do what this mayor is doing and take a hard stance and back up that hard stance when it comes to something that doesn't need to? Stand by your convictions, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you should do, especially as political leaders in your community or in your country. Stand by your convictions, or at least have some. Not this 216 to 212 vote on a budget. Jesus. That's insane. So, what else we got? Here we go. So I spoke yesterday about doing a a badass of the week, a cool thing of the week, and I've been holding this one for the end, and really want to applaud these guys. They did, it's part of their job, but they did a job. They did a good job here. U.S. Navy, yeah, I know, the Navy, rescue sailors and their two dogs lost at sea for months. Two civilian mariners have been rescued at sea by a U.S. Navy ship after having been stranded in the Pacific Ocean for almost 5 months. The two mariners were well off course. They had left Honolulu in the spring, headed to Tahiti in the South Pacific, but were rescued in the Western Pacific, 900 miles southeast of Japan. Jennifer Appel and Tasha Fuiba, both from Honolulu, and their two dogs were rescued on Wednesday by the USS Ashland, a U.S. Navy amphibious transport dock ship. The pair had set sail on their sailboat from Hawaii in the spring bound for Tahiti, 2,600 miles to the south. But during a spell of bad weather on May 30th, their sailboat's engine stopped running for good. But the pair continued sailing towards Tahiti, believing they could make it to land. 2 months into their voyage, they began issuing daily distress radio calls, but there were no ships close enough to receive the message. On Tuesday, a Japanese-Taiwanese fishing vessel discovered the pair at a location 900 miles from Japan, nearly 5,000 miles from their original destination. The vessel reached out to the U.S. Coast Guard in Guam for assistance, and it was determined that the Ashland was in the best position to pick up the stranded mariners. The Ashland reached the sailboat Tuesday morning, and after assessing that the craft was unseaworthy, the stranded mariners were brought aboard. They were given a medical checkup, food, and berthing arrangements on the ship, because they will remain on the Ashland until the ship's next port of call. I'm grateful for their service to our country. They had saved our lives. Their pride and smiles when we saw U.S. Navy on the horizon was pure relief. Appel said they survived for so long at sea thanks to the water purifiers aboard the sailboat and the year's worth of food they had on board, including oatmeal, pasta, and rice. The U.S. Navy is postured to assist in any distressed mariner of any nationality during any type of situation, said Commander Stephen Wasson, Ashland's commanding officer. To the crew of the USS Ashland, I don't know if you're listening, and I don't know if you ever will, but you guys, I'm going to do this every week, and you guys are badasses of the week. It's a shitty job, and that is a shitty situation to be in, especially for those two mariners. But even though you were just doing your job, these guys were gone for 5 months. And I don't know about you, but I don't think cell reception in the Pacific is very good. Family was probably freaking out. And you guys just brought a lot of relief and a lot of joy to their family members, be it mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, cousins, etc. And you know what? These guys, they're spending until their next port of call, whenever that is, wherever the Ashland is going to go for the next port of call. These guys are going to get a first-hand look at what the Navy does and their day-to-day activities, and these guys are going to come back telling an excellent story and building up that public relations. It's unattended, but that's great. And two dogs as well. That's cool too. Dude, they rescued two mariners and their two dogs who stayed alive off of pasta, rice, whatever they had in their food stores. They had water purifiers. Hell yeah. Defied the odds, and then defied the odds again by going, oh, well, let's do the distress call real quick. And another ship picked them up and referred it to our Navy. That is fantastic. So to you guys, hell yeah. Pat on the back from me to you. You guys did a great job, and I'm proud of you. And holy shit, if I'm ever in the Pacific and I'm lost, I'll be spamming your name until you guys pick up. Or I'll be freaking out because I just don't do the ocean. 3-hour tour. That'd be funny as hell if one of them just started playing the Gilligan Islands theme song while walking around the Ashland, one of those mariners. A 3-hour tour. Just to fuck around with the sailors. That's gotta be a heck of a... I'm now curious what deems a ship unseaworthy. I mean, the engines died, but it's a sailboat. So, did the sails break? Did they rupture? I'm not really seeing anything about that here But I digress. Way to go, crew of the USS Ashland. You guys are my badasses of the week. Lots of respect and lots of love. Oh, man. Too much to haul to port. I'm confused, Pookie. You're confusing me. You're throwing me through a loop. Your GIF is still playing nonstop and I can't close it. And now I'm worried that, like, I'll try to go play one of my games and that GIF will still be up. Dancing in the background. Oh, Lord. So, let's move on to a last quick bit. So the Department of Justice settles a lawsuits over Tea Party targeting by the President Obama's IRS. Oh, God, here it comes, Fox News. First of all, it's not Trump's DOJ, it's the Department of Justice. Second of all, it's not Obama's IRS, it's the IRS. But let's move forward. The Trump administration, after years of litigation, had settled lawsuits with Tea Party and other conservative groups who said they were unfairly targeted by the IRS under the Obama administration. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced early Thursday that the Justice Department had entered into a settlement with Tea Party groups whose tax-exempt status was significantly delayed by the IRS dating back to 2013, based solely on their viewpoint or ideology. The settlement involves payments to the plaintiffs and an apology from the IRS. The targeting scandal drew heavy attention in 2013 when the IRS admitted it applied extra scrutiny to conservative groups applying for nonprofit status. Lois Lerner, the head of the exempt organizations unit responsible, became the public face of the scandal, though other IRS officials were involved as well. Sessions said the groups with a name involving Tea Party or Patriots or those with specific policy positions concerning government spending were subject to inappropriate criteria to screen applications. Okay. First of all, IRS, you're supposed to just take our money and give it to the government. You're not supposed to fucking scrutinize inappropriately and screen. No. Determine if we qualify for nonprofit. Tell us we do or don't. And if we don't qualify, tell us why. Don't let your personal politics get involved with this. Second of all, the title of this article pisses me off. It's not Trump's DOJ. It's the Department of Justice. It's the IRS. Oh. Moving on. The IRS use of these criteria as a basis for heightened scrutiny was wrong and should never have occurred, Sessions said in a statement Thursday. It is improper for the IRS to single out groups for different treatment based on their names or ideological positions. While the IRS did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment, court documents show that the agency did offer an apology. The IRS admits that its treatment of plaintiffs during the tax-exempt determination process, including screening their applications based on their names or policy positions, subjecting those applications to heightened scrutiny and inordinate delays, and demanding some plaintiffs' information that TIGTA determined was unnecessary to the agency's determination of their tax-exempt status was wrong, the IRS said in court documents. For such treatment, the IRS expresses its sincere apology. You know, I'm curious, to any of the veteran nonprofits out there, did it take you longer to get your nonprofit status because of this? Could it have? I would check. I would find out if getting your nonprofit status normally takes, I don't know, we'll say 6 months hypothetically. But if getting your nonprofit takes 6 months and it took you a year, 2 years, I would check to see if this case applies to you. You know, because it may not be in the interest to sue, but you could be owed, your nonprofit could be owed some money by the IRS because of, they just admitted that due to the Tea Party and their affiliates, that they discriminated. Names like Patriots. Sessions said that groups with names involving Tea Party or Patriots or those with specific policy positions. I don't know of any nonprofits that have specific policy positions concerning government spending, but I do know of a couple of groups that have the name Patriots in them, other than the football team. I would check. I would take a look. The IRS might have fucked up. You might be owed some restitution there. Or if you're already in it, hell yeah, good job. Glad this went your way. Goes on to say that the government's generous settlement with the class plaintiffs fully vindicates their claims that the IRS targeted Tea Party and conservative groups based on their viewpoint. Lead counsel for the conservative groups Eddie Green told Fox News in an email. However, like Lois Lerner's stated apology back in 2013, any recent so-called apology by the IRS has little value. That is because the service continues to suggest that its targeting was really just mismanagement. Green added, the story was dismantled in our case. For taxpayers to be truly confident that the IRS has changed, it needs to be truthful about its past abuse of power. And that's completely true. When you have an organization that handles that deals with the revenue for the country and taxes, they need to come clean about any abuse of power in the past. We can't sit there and freak out over the IRS and them possibly doing something. We have to hold them accountable, and they need to accept accountability. But with that being said, oh man, let's do some house cleaning real quick, and then I'll give you my final thoughts, and then I'll get on for our days and move on with our lives and stop yelling at congressmen for not doing their jobs. As you know, every day we got a show 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tonight we have Sergeant's Time with Ice, Doc Madness, Mike Golf. Going to talk about active duty Army issues, and going to be having a lot of fun with that. I'm looking forward to listening tonight, Boss Man. Tomorrow night we have Friday Night Freedom with Minx and Mud Puppy. They're going to recap what happened in the past week, make some jokes, ask Mud Puppy about 19.1 inches. Saturday we have Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie, bringing the most savage show on the air. And they also have a guest this Saturday. This Saturday the 28th, they have Greg Stevens from Research and Investigations of the Paranormal. Greg Stevens is a retired first sergeant who started investigating paranormal events in the state of Texas. He'll be on to talk about his organization, his team, and what they do and the things they experienced. They use the scientific method to gain a better understanding of unexplained events. And RIP provides their investigations at no cost to the client. So they promote public awareness and preservation of the historical sites and work with the public to educate how paranormal investigations are conducted. Moving on to Monday. Monday we have our flagship show, the Monday edition, with Ice. And going to be tackling whatever happens over on the weekend. Hitting it up and always having that wonderful Ice flair and that creepy little voice he does. You know, the one that talks like this. Made my skin crawl as we were playing Xbox the other day, brother. But I love you, boss. And then Tuesday, we're back to Tuesday. Tuesday, we have at noon Eastern Time, every Tuesday and Thursday, you have Jose's Taco Truck with myself, KJ, and my lovely co-host, Ghosty, who is out doing Secret Squirrel stuff. And we're going to talk about all sorts of topics, from entertainment to video games to politics to the DOD. Feel free to tune in, put your orders for tacos and chalupas in, and I'll make sure I get them out to you. And Tuesday night, we have Tied Up Tuesdays with Minx and Grey Cloud. And Wednesdays, to come full circle, we have WTF Wednesdays with Jim Bean and Pookie to bring you their own smooth Southern flair to the program. Be sure to tune in every night at 8 and every Tuesday and Thursday at noon as well to catch all the shows. We also have some awesome guests coming up next week. November 2nd, we have David Corlew from the Journey Home Project. The Journey Home Project is to continue to develop and produce video and television programming that raises awareness in the sacrifices made by the men and women who serve in the U.S. military, and utilize these assets in raising funds to help our returning military men and women. Now, during service, we risk our lives to defend the country's freedom, and when we come home, new challenges await. Many of us may need physical and mental healing while they reintegrate back into society. And with the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, there are so many stories to be told as we're making our way home. These are the stories that the Journey Home Project wants to tell. I would definitely tune in Thursday, November 2nd, and listen to David Corlew and get involved with that project so we can raise social awareness and public appreciation. Following that, November 3rd, Friday, we have Kevin from Girls Gone Grunt. He founded Girls Gone Grunt as a mission to grow respect and appreciation for all the hardworking women of our country, whether they're a stay-at-home mom, businesswoman, nurse, or any other role that women play vital in our day-to-day lives. His vision is to give women a platform to celebrate life's accomplishments, hard work, and patriotism. Also, don't forget about our partners, Project Overwatch. Listen, I love these guys. I do. I think they're fantastic. And the wonderful thing about Project Overwatch is that they provide support by filling training gaps for law enforcement and firefighters. They have this campaign, Paw Patrol, that's going to put the cameras on the back of the canine units, so it increases situational awareness. They raise funds and get sponsors to assist with equipment shortages within the law enforcement and firefighter communities. They establish hardship accounts for partnered law enforcement and firefighter departments. They get that, they promote the fidelity and community between law enforcement, firefighters, veteran community. They're really just an excellent organization, and their biggest thing that I love about them is if you donate to the campaign, they're entirely nonprofit. So every penny of your donation will go towards their cause, especially if you donate to Paw Patrol. Furthermore, we have War Horses for Veterans. Oh, hell yeah. Horses, riding, and eating. Oh, God. I can't get over this place. I'm so jealous that Boss got to go there, and I'm anxiously waiting. 3 days of horses and networking with other vets. I believe it's all expenses paid. You get to go out there, ride, have a couple drinks, tell your no shit, there I was stories. Eat some of the best food I hear. And man, it's just a great experience overall. Feel free. Check out War Horses for Veterans at warhorsesforveterans.com or Project Overwatch at project.overwatch.org. And with all the house cleaning out of the way, I'm going to end this real quick. I'm going to do a final note. Guys, as much fun as reading the JFK Files will be, or going to rewatch it for the 1,000th time, the problem that I'm seeing today is that our politicians, our Washington D.C. is not listening, especially with this budget thing. That is what disturbs me the most. We have General Mattis, we have President Trump, we have Rex Tillerson, we have guys that are in these positions of power that I don't see unity. I don't see unity in the presidential administration. I don't see unity in Congress. I don't see unity in the Senate. The only place I see unity is Department of Justice, because they have to be impartial. We're the ones that elect the officials. We're the ones that get the main guy into the cabinet and get him a main guy into the presidency to get him to fill the cabinet. We need to be more involved, especially even if we start on a local level. But we need to get people that understand and know what we need and want. And if we don't start now, it'll just be a constant, vicious, bloody cycle. Now, that being said, I wish you all a good afternoon. I hope to see you all tonight for Sergeant's Time. I'm off to go eat lunch with my wife. Have a good day, and shots!
I see it like you need, I need it like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see it. Like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier, Green Beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see the day. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like
like you, a mortgage like you. So blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living. Like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.